Optional Practical Training STEM OPT Workshop. My name is Andrew Patrick, and I'm the Associate Director of the International Student Services Office at WVU. Our team of advisors is here to help you understand the STEM OPT extension regulations and assist with authorization. This presentation is meant to provide you with an overview of the STEM OPT extension procedures, regulations, and reporting requirements that you must know. We hope that it's helpful, so let's get started. So what is the OPT STEM extension? For F1 STEM students who have elected to pursue 12 months of OPT in the United States, you can request and extend the OPT period by 24 months. This is what's known as the STEM OPT extension. This is only if the degree used to obtain the 12-month OPT is eligible for the extension. The extension is only available to F1 visa holders in an ICE-approved STEM major. The list of approved majors can be found on our OPT STEM extension webpage. The U.S. government typically updates this list every year, and you're only eligible if the CIP code from your I-20 is listed on the approved majors for the STEM OPT extension. STEM OPT extensions require additional oversight and the implementation of formal training plans by employers by use of the Form I-983. We'll explain the I-983 a little bit later on in the presentation. STEM OPT extensions may only be applied to students employed by employers who participate in E-Verify. Unfortunately, if the employer that you're working for is not enrolled in E-Verify for your 12-month OPT, you will not be able to work for them for the 24-month extension. Please speak with your employer to ensure that they are enrolled in E-Verify. You also must be employed full-time in all STEM OPT positions, and it must be a paid employment. You cannot combine multiple employments to make a full-time employment. Each employment that you work on for the OPT STEM extension must be full-time, 20 or more hours per week, and must be paid. There is usually a limit of 2 STEM OPT extensions during an F1 academics career. These must be at different education levels and typically in an upward progression. However, you can base the STEM OPT extension on a prior degree. The degree must have been issued by a currently SAVP certified institution and within the last 10 years from the date the DSO puts the recommendation in SEVIS. If you are considering using a prior degree for the OPT STEM extension, please reach out to our office and we will explain to you your options and explore your eligibility. So when should you apply? The earliest time to apply for the STEM extension is 90 days prior to the end date on your post-completion OPT EAD card. All STEM extension applications must be received by USCIS before the last day of your initial OPT as listed on your EAD card. If you apply for the STEM OPT extension after your EAD card expires, the extension function in SEVIS is no longer available after this last day, and you will no longer be eligible. So it's important to pay attention to the EAD card end date of your 12-month OPT and apply as soon as possible within those 90 days prior to its expiration. Approximate adjudication time by USCIS is 90 to 150 days, 3 to 5 months. However, if the STEM extension application is submitted to USCIS in a timely manner before your EAD card expiration date, you can work for an additional 180 days after the initial OPT end date while waiting for a decision. This means that your employer will can allow you to work 180 days while USCIS is adjudicating your application after the EAD card expiration date. If you approach the 180 days and your application is still not adjudicated by USCIS, unfortunately, you will need to stop working on the 180th day until you receive word from USCIS. But this is in rare circumstances. If you're approaching the 180 days just reach out to our office and let us know so we can provide further guidance for you. You also have an additional 60 days of aggregate unemployment added to your total allowance while on OPT if filed in a timely manner. So after your EAD card expiration date, if you filed appropriately with USCIS, you'll have an additional 60 days of unemployment or 150 days total aggregate unemployment. So how do you request an extension? You can begin a request through the WVU ISS request portal 90 days prior to the EAD card expiration date and up to at least 3 weeks prior to the expiration date to allow time to process. However, please understand, do not file the Form I-765 with USCIS or pay any fee until you have received an updated Form I-20 recommending STEM OPT from the ISSS office. Applying before our office is done providing you the updated I-20 will be problematic and may lead to rejection or denial of your STEM OPT. Just like you did with a 12-month OPT, please wait for the updated I-20 and the recommendation in SEVIS from ISSS before applying with USCIS. Some of the documents required for the OPT extension application include copies of the most recent OPT I-20 and any previous I-20s with work authorization, either from WVU or another school. This includes CPT authorizations, other STEM OPT authorizations, or OPT authorizations in general. Copies of your passport bio page with at least 6 months validity remaining, or proof of renewal of that passport. Your visa page, and also your I-9 form. If your visa will expire, you can still apply for the STEM OPT extension. However, traveling will be problematic if you do leave the country while the STEM OPT application is pending and you do not have a valid visa. Please reach out to us if travel is necessary while your STEM OPT application is pending. We'll also need to collect your post-completion OPT EAD card and a copy of the I-983. We do have a guide for the I-983 to help you fill it out. It does not constitute legal advice in filling out the I-983, but serves as a guide and a general FAQ. Each section of the I-983, pages 1 through 4, is required. Do not skip a section or a box. We are required to review a complete I-983 in order to recommend you for the STEM OPT extension. Leaving boxes blank or skipping sections will cause delays in processing your request. Please ensure that I-983 has all signatures, which can be an electronic signature or ink signature, as well as the date and all pages of where it's required. Details about the training is required in the appropriate boxes. You may attach an addendum if further space is needed, but be concise and detailed about the training that you will be receiving. A supervisor or employer representative with authority will sign the I-983 with you in the appropriate sections. Page 5 with the evaluation boxes are not needed at the initial time of application. The evaluation page on page 5 is only required with the 12-month required reporting and the 24-month required reporting. Please leave this page blank when filling out the I-983 initially to apply for the STEM OPT extension. Let's take a look at our requests so you're familiar with how to make a request to ISSS and also what the I-983 looks like. When you log in to the ISS request portal, you're going to go to Requests and Documents, and you're going to scroll down to the STEM OPT extension application. When you open up the request, please read the instructions. There's a link to the STEM designated degree list where you can check the CIP code from your I-20 to see if you're eligible. There's a list of required documents and also links to some helpful websites about the STEM OPT extension. Plus, our website is comprehensive and will help you step by step along the way. The first section is your employment information. Please do not skip a box. The employer start date will be the day after your EAD card expires. The employer end date is 2 years minus a day. After you fill out the job information, please be sure to explain how this is relevant to your degree and course of study. Next, we'll need to make sure your U.S. physical address is up to date in SEVIS, and also your mailing address if different from your physical address. Please also verify your phone number, your STEM degree level, your major, and the employer's E-Verify number. Please indicate to us if the STEM employment that you'll be using to apply is the same as your 12-month OPT employment. Next will be a spot for you to upload the documents required. Please upload any previous I-20s, your passport ID page, visa foil, the port of entry stamp, the I-984, the OPT EAD card, the I-983 training plan, and those are the only documents required at this time and that you will see in your version of the request. Last is a statement of understanding that you'll read, understand, and agree to the above. Once that is completed, you'll click Submit. Let's look at the form I-983. The first section is for student information. The STEM OPT requested period is from the date after your EAD card expires in 2 years minus a day. Please list the CIP code from your I-20, the qualifying degree, the date that it was awarded, and typically it's not based on a prior degree, so you just want to check no. The employment authorization number is from your EAD card. You will sign, print your name and date the first page, and work with your employer to fill out Section 3. Each section must be filled out, and some of the information may need to be acquired from the HR department that you're working for, such as the number of full-time employees in the U.S. and the North American Industry Classification System code. Please make sure you list your salary and frequency as well, as it must be a paid position. The employer or someone with signatory authority will need to sign, print, and date. Section 5 is the training plan that you'll work with your supervisor to fill out. Again, you can attach an addendum if needed. And Section 6 is your employer attesting to some information that's needed. They will sign. And again, the evaluation, the first evaluation, is only needed at the 12-month reporting period, and the final one at the 24-month reporting period, or any time that you end employment. For initially applying for the STEM OPT extension, you may leave page 5 blank. So let's talk about filing the I-765 with USCIS. Just like filing for the 12-month OPT, the I-765 for the STEM OPT extension is a legal form, and filing is a legal matter with USCIS. ISSS cannot assist with filing the I-765 once the updated OPT I-20 is provided to you. However, we can assist with general questions, but please reach out if you have any confusion. Once an OPT I-20 has been issued from our office, students have 60 days from the issue date to send it to USCIS or by their EAD card expiration date, whichever comes first. Please be sure to submit it by the EAD card expiration date. ISSS will contact the student by email when we are finished with the updated STEM OPT I-20 and have placed the recommendation in SEVIS. Our email will contain instructions for applying to USCIS. On the I-765 for the STEM OPT extension, remember, you are filing for renewal of permission to accept employment, and the eligibility code for the STEM extension is C36. C. ISSS does recommend filing online. It's quicker, easier, and cheaper. It will allow you to track your case and submit additional documents if needed. An immediate receipt of filing is provided. With other requirements for the OPT application to USCIS include a passport-sized picture or application fee for $470 for online filing. There is a premium processing option. However, please remember, you can work for 180 days after the EAD card expiration date. So premium processing doesn't really make sense in this scenario, unless you're approaching that 180 days and it's still not adjudicated yet. We advise filing normally and updating the application to premium processing if the 180 days is approaching. Please reach out to us if you do have questions. Please remember, when you're on the OPT STEM extension, there is required reporting, not just giving us an employment update. Once approved for the STEM extension by USCIS, there are 4 mandatory reporting times to the US government over the 24-month STEM extension period. Mark your calendar from the start date of your STEM extension EAD card. At 6 months, 12 months, 18, and 24 months, you are required to report your STEM extension employment to ISSS through a STEM participation report and upload the most recent version of the I-983. Any changes in employment should still be reported through the OPT employment update. A STEM report participation request should also be completed to submit a new I-983. Make sure that for each participation period, you upload the most up-to-date I-983 with signatures from you and your supervisor to show that the information is current and up to that reporting date. Let's say at the 6-month reporting period, no information has changed. You would just need to submit a STEM report participation and upload the most recent version of the I-983. If 12 months goes by and there are material changes to your training plan, you'll need to acquire new signatures, update the I-983 training plan, and provide it to us through a STEM report participation request. Let's say at 18 months you change employment. You're going to need to submit to us an OPT employment update, 1, to let us know your employment is ending, and 2, another OPT employment update to let us know that new employment is starting. 2 separate STEM report participation requests should be submitted, 1 with the final evaluation completed to let us know that you have ended employment on the STEM extension, and another one to provide the new I-983. At 24 months, you would provide us a final evaluation for that final employment. That is just a scenario and example for those that are on the STEM OPT extension. However, if you do not change employment during the whole 24 months that you're on the STEM OPT extension, we will just need the most updated version of your I-983 through a STEM report participation request at each reporting interval. Again, reach out to us at our ISSS-students@mail.wvu.edu email if you have questions about what to do at each required reporting period, or if you change employment, or if there's any changes to your job. Remember, page 5 evaluations are only required at the 12 and 24 month reporting period. Unless you're ending employment, then we'll ask for a final evaluation. If there are any changes to the I-983, you must update the I-983 and provide ISS a copy as soon as possible, no matter if it is not your reporting period. New or ending employment must be reported and the I-983 provided within 10 days of the change. You and your employer should have a copy of the I-983 at all times. Though it is rare, ICE does state that there may be site visits. DHS will conduct site visits at work sites with notice 48 hours in advance. Notice may not be given in instances of an investigation based on a complaint, Investigators will seek to verify employers' attestations on the Form I-983 if they do show up. Again, this is in rare circumstances, but you and your employer should retain copies of the I-983 in the event a government official needs to review the training plan and employment information. Our F1 STEM OPT extension webpage through our website will have a complete and comprehensive rundown of reporting requirements, or you may reach out to us if you're confused at each reporting interval what you need to do. The most important takeaway is that at 6, 12, 18, and 24 months, you are required to report your STEM employment to us, and if there's any changes to employment, you must report that to us as well. That concludes our presentation for today about the STEM OPT extension. If you do have questions, please contact us at our email, visit our websites, or make a request to send us any updates or to apply. We do have resources that are comprehensive that explains the STEM OPT extension, the I-765 guide, and the I-983 guide as well. Please let us know if you do have any questions. We are here to help, and we wish you the best in applying for the OPT STEM extension. Have a great day.